Hello and welcome to this evening's coronavirus pandemic update video for Wednesday, October 5th, 2022. Taking a look at the old CDC transmission map, you can see there continues to be a shift away from the number of areas that are in high levels of transmission. 56.505% of the country is in high transmission, 25.48 is in substantial transmission, 14.09 is in moderate transmission, and 4.38% is in low transmission. The areas with the highest number of high counties is the Northeast, and North Carolina is also an area with a lot of counties in high level of transmission, and Puerto Rico. Alaska has kind of trended a little bit better, so that's some good news. But we do expect within the coming months this is likely going to change, and there's going to be a rise in cases, and we'll see transmission start to go back up again. Taking a look at the varying proportions, BA.5 makes up 81.3% of the cases, BA.4.6 makes up 12.8% of the cases, BF.7 makes up 3.4% of the cases, BA.2.75 makes up 1.4% of the cases, BA.4 makes up 1.1% of the cases. So BA.5 is dominant, followed by BA.4.6. Alrighty, today's cases. We tend to get the most number of cases in on Wednesday because the most amount of states update on Wednesday. There's some interesting things going on here. And there's some more suggestion that we might be missing even more cases than we were before. Today, so far, on the report, 74,750 new cases. Deaths, 688 deaths have been added so far today. That's actually down slightly. Remember last week at this time, or last couple weeks on Wednesdays, we were above 800. Now, more could be added because they may not have added all states yet, so it still may get back to 800. Testing, 783,805 tests today. I like to see that over 1 million on Wednesdays, but here we are. It is what it is. Hospitalizations are up today. And let's click on Daily Report. They also finished up 125 yesterday. If you were watching yesterday's video, I said they were up about 25. Well, it actually finished up 125 yesterday. And currently in the hospital, 27,132. That's up 198. ICU is 3,231. That's down another 25. But if we keep these little ticks up in the hospitalization, eventually ICUs would follow. And as the weeks come on, this hospitalization increase could get bigger. Taking a look at the map, got a few more states here now that are rising cases than we had the previous week. California, no update today. Let's click to cases. Texas, 3,563 cases. Florida, 1,927 cases. New York State, 12,070 cases. Remember, they do the reinfections on Wednesdays, so that's not the actual number. That includes last week's worth of reinfection. We'll get to the actual number in a little bit. Illinois, 1,839 new cases. Pennsylvania, 12,431 new cases. That's a weekly number, and that's down 18.2%. But I got problems with that, and this is where I think we are missing cases. Pennsylvania, another 110 deaths. Yeah, another 110 deaths over the last week. It's been fairly consistent at that for week after week after week after week. But then we come over here to hospitalizations. Pennsylvania hospitalizations up 120? Yeah, they're up 120. That raises another red flag because remember, cases are down 18.2%. So I think a lot of people either they're opting for the at-home test, they're not testing, or they're finding out they have COVID when they're already in the hospital. A lot of people are going to the hospital with breathing difficulty and the classic COVID-like symptoms, and they're wearing a test, and it's pretty bad, and they're getting admitted. I listen to dispatch quite often, and I'm hearing cases where they're saying breathing difficulty, they're having headaches and all these problems, and they can't breathe, they're coughing, they're having fevers, and they're being transported to the hospital, and they get to the hospital and find out, oh, surprise, it's coronavirus. Well, there you go. That shows how many cases we're missing. North Carolina, 10,362 cases. Georgia, 4,360 cases. Tennessee, 1,102 cases. Arizona, 3,675 cases. Virginia, 1,138 cases. Indiana, 3,652 cases, and they're up 10.6%. And I forgot to add, Arizona's up 8%. Colorado, 1,800 cases, up 14.1%. Louisiana, 363. Maryland, 685. Puerto Rico, 698, and they're still up 56.5%. Arkansas, 423 cases. Connecticut, 680. Oregon, 4,237. Kansas, 1,698. Both of these are multi-day totals. Iowa, 656. Nevada, up 146.7% for 738 new cases. New Mexico, 307 cases. West Virginia, 367. And Hawaii, 1,273 new cases. We got a few more here that will do. Maine, another 338 cases, up 5.9%. Alaska, 637 cases, up 15.2%. South Dakota, 842 cases, up 15%. And we did not get the weekly report out of Vermont this week. I don't know if they did not add it yet, or it just did not come in. I don't know what the deal is, but Vermont hospitalizations did update today. We'll see if they updated on here. If not, we'll get it on BNO. So they actually dropped today to 46. So I find that to be relatively interesting. And take a look at this. New Hampshire, 157 people hospitalized. And that's actually up by 25. Kansas, 166. That's up by 37. So some of these states with smaller hospitalization counts are seeing pretty good-sized increases. That's concerning. Speaking of hospitalizations, let's take a look at the HHS hospitalizations, shall we? 27,216. That's up from yesterday. 3.95% of the hospitalizations are for coronavirus. Of the beds being used are for coronavirus. 75.39% of all beds in this country are currently in use. That's actually right where it should be for this time of year. Taking a look at New York State. New York State, the actual number was 4,451 cases. 7.3% positivity, so it didn't drop all that much, which is telling me, yet again, another state where we're missing a ton of cases. Hospitalizations in New York State, yesterday was 2,366, today's 2,392, so it's continuing to rise, and we expect that from here on out, right on through, probably for the rest of the month. Taking a look at X's, 1,436 people in the hospital, and testing 8.01% of positivity rate. Finally today, one thing I did want to take a look at was, I mentioned this in the Worldwide International video, there was a projection by J.P. Wellinand, and this was posted on Twitter. I always love following his model projections because they are usually fairly accurate. And his projection here shows the case projections for the United States. So we are around here right now. And it shows cases will continue to drop until about the end of the month. And as you can see here, total cases on the purplish line. And look what happens afterwards. So it bottoms out around 40,000 a day, but look what happens. It then skyrockets by the time we get to Thanksgiving to 120,000 cases per day. And remember, if we go back to here on BNO or Madriva, as you can see here, today, yes, while there was 74,000 cases, a lot of that's weekly updates. So really, if you smooth all this out, the average is really about 35 to 40,000 right now, which is about what his model is showing. There's also this Pentagon model, which I believe is related to the government, I'm assuming. That shows that there's going to be a slow increase now, and then as we get into November, boing, straight up. And remember, this is before Thanksgiving, so it's going to go higher as after Thanksgiving and higher again after Christmas. There may be a peak somewhere in between and then a second peak after Christmas. So like I said yesterday, I think we're going to get higher than the B8.5 peak. I don't think we're going to get as high as we saw with the peak last winter, but nonetheless, it's going to be pretty significant. And the key thing we have to watch right now is there is something going on over in Germany. They are seeing a massive amount of ICU admissions. Could it be a new variant? Don't know. And if it is, we have to watch out for that, because that could definitely throw a monkey wrench. Everyone remembers the Thanksgiving monkey wrench last year, Omicron. So who knows? At any given time, a new variant could come and change things. But right now, from the second half of this month on, the projection is from this model and Pentagon model that cases will rise. Alrighty, thank you for watching this video, and remember, please hit the like and subscribe button down below. Stay safe, continue to wear a mask, and I'll see you again next time for another pandemic update video.